on Twist, and thank God today I get to give you another Raw recap and review. This one is from May 25th in Columbus, Ohio on Memorial Day. So if you enjoy WWE content like this, please subscribe to the channel for more. And also, if you enjoy WWE 2K26 content, I also have this on this channel as well. You can check out the CM Punk showcase I just finished. Now let's get into the first segment of Raw. Like with most Raws, we get into talking. We have Paul Heyman in the middle of the ring, and he's there to welcome us to Raw and to hype up the match between Brock and Oba Femi at Clash of Italy. At least the Oba Femi chants, and they saying Oba, Oba. And he says, Paul says, when I'm talking, you guys need to shut the hell up. Big boos by everybody. And then the Brock vignette, Brock is talking to vignette saying, he wants to congratulate Oba for beating him at WrestleMania, and that it actually humbled him. It humbled him so much that it made him quit. But it didn't sit right with him. A lot of ass whoopings, but he wants to know if Oba can take an ass whooping. So he's going to be able to, he says he's going to conquer Oba at Clash of Italy, and he's going to be ruling over him. Then that goes back to Paul Heyman back in the ring. He's talking, and then Oba, Oba, Oba pop out. He aura farming all on Paul Heyman, and he says, says to Paul that real close. He all real close up on him. Paul scared he gonna hit him. He says, you said that I woke something in the beast. But what about with the beast awoken in me? And he says, Paul, I know you're scared, man, but I ain't going to do nothing, man. I ain't doing nothing to you because I want you alive. I want you alive to tell the story about how Oba Femi retired Brock Lesnar 2 times. And he says, last time I fought him, I just wanted to beat him respectfully. But now, I want to kill him. Oba head out. So, hey, they finna cook in Italy. But then we get into our first match of the night, and it's actually a title match for the Intercontinental title. We have the champion, Penta, who just defended his belt against Ethan Page, versus the challenger, that boy Bouncy Jevon Evans. The match starts off crazy. They handshake, they get into it, but Jevon instantly says, OG Cutter, but that gets caught, and that gets thrown away, but Jevon hits the rope and then hits a Rana on the Penta. But then Penta says, okay, let me get one in. Go for a Rana, but this time Jevon lands on his feet, and that leads to a soulmate between them right there. Then at least the Penta gets some strikes in. Then they have a back and forth technical wrestling leading to a stalemate. They dap up again, and they say, you know what? Penta walk. They Penta walking together, but Jevon says, you know what? Let me ruin that. Drop kick by Jevon. Then he hits it with the bouncy Rana. And the whole time he's saying, my fault, Penta. I don't want to do this, But you know what time. You know where we at. Let's go outside. Undertaker dive on the outside. Gets him to the ring. Tries to go for the springboard clothesline, but he gets caught by Penta. Hit with a super kick. Then he gets him in the corner. Enziguri by Penta. Then he does the corner delayed drop kick down onto him. Goes for the pin. Kick out from Jevon though. Now Penta's trying to get the match over, trying to go for the Penta driver, but Jevon catches it and turns into an arm drag, and then says, dumbass, hits the rope. Red dot to Penta. That's basically a bounce off the rope into an enziguri kick. Then at least Penta be on the outside. Jevon is trying to get bouncy again. He tries to go for the suicide dive, but one of the craziest reverses I've ever seen. He catches Jevon in midair and slams him into the announce table. Disgusting. It looked like his spine was broken. That leads on to a commercial break. We get back from the commercial break with them showing a clip of what happened during the commercial break. Jevon on the outside recover. He dived on Jevon on the outside. Then he brought him back into the ring to do the springboard clothesline. He went for the pin on that, but Penta kicked out of it. Now we get back from that. We get from Jevon trying to do the bouncy Rana again, but this time it gets reversed by Penta in a powerbomb position, and he does a powerbomb backstabber. Nasty. That back is cooked. 1, 2, kick out from Jevon though. He want that belt bad. Then Penta tries to go for the Mexican Destroyer, but that gets stopped by Jevon with a super kick, and then he hits him with the at least he putting over to Penta on the apron, and he sees Penta on the apron. He goes, you know what? Let me do an OG cutter from there. He jumps from outside the ring, jumps from inside the ring to the outside, apron cutter, puts him back in the ring. 1, 2. Kick out from Penta because he ain't had it all the way on his face. That's the only reason why. He gets it back, but now Jevon tries to go for a springboard inside the ring, but he gets caught by him, and it gets turned into a Penta driver. Boom. 1, 2. Kick out from Jevon though. He not going out like that. That leaves him going on to the top rope. They fighting back and forth. Jevon turns it. Usually it's a Spanish fly position, but he says, And he said, let me do top rope, hurricanrana, off it down onto the ground. Boom. He says, you know what? It's time to do the OG cutter now. Jumps off the rope, jumps back. Super kick by Penta. He says, it's time for Mexican Destroyer. He goes for Mexican Destroyer, but boom, big knee by Jevon. He says, you know what? Let's run the OG cutter back again. Boom, boom, jumping off. Backstabber by Penta. Mexican Destroyer. 1, 2, 3. Penta gets the dub. 5 stars. I'm giving you that match 5 stars. That ending segment, one of the best ending segments I've ever seen. Usually I don't like no selling, but I gave that this fighting spirit little edge to it. That's why they kept going. Crazy finish between them. Crazy match. Crazy back and forth. Penta tries to be respectful, tries to lift up Jevon's hand, but Jevon say, put me down, man. I ain't going for that. He don't want to do that. On to the next segment where they show that Logan Paul actually tore his triceps at Saturday Night's Main Event, so he's going to have to give up the belt. He's going to be out for, I looked up the recovery, said 6 to 12 months, so damn. He out for a minute. It shows to the back, Austin Theory with the belts. He's telling Paul Heyman, I don't even know what to do with the belts, man. I don't know what to do with them. Paul says, dude, every time you defend the belt, it's division. So I have it set up that if Logan can't defend it, then Braun Breaker will be champs with you. And Theory says, you know what? Thank you, man. Hugs him. He says, you know what? I want to take out everybody who was involved messing with Logan. And Paul says, you know what? You know where everybody at, man. So get to work. And it cuts to a commercial break after that, and it cuts to Joe Hendry in the ring going, Paul, can we find Logan Paul? What? Back by Austin Theory. He hitting that man in the back multiple times, and then he leave out the ring, but then he see that man head exposed to the ring post. He say, you know what? Headshot. I said, hold on, we got headshots back? What are they cooking today? What is going on? So Joe Hendry, he out of commission. He out of there. Then we get backstage back with Seth walking up on Angelo Dawkins, telling him that, since Logan Paul is out, bro, we can put an end to the division right now if we just come together. Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins' partner, says, oh, here we go again, trying to do the redemption arc, man. Nothing good happens with you, Seth. And Seth said, you know what? Nothing good's happened with me. Good things would have happened if I would have been with y'all. Y'all would have been chimps if I was there. He said, we need to work together to get rid of the division. We don't need to be friends. We don't need to be kumbaya. We don't need to be buddy-buddy, but we need to work together to get rid of them. And he says, you know what? He says, you should listen to me because look about it. None of you guys have main event at WrestleMania, never been double champions, never been all this. And Montez says, you know what? That's true, but I've also never stabbed my friend in the back. And, you talk about this and all that. You know what? We all want to talk about being the best, so why don't we have a match tonight? And Seth said, you want a match tonight? Oh, bet. Say less. So they're going to have a match later tonight. Jevon walking in the back. Penta walks up. He says, Jevon. And Jevon says, you know what, Penta, my fault, bro. I was wrong for that. I disrespect you. I didn't mean to do that. Says, I was just in the heat of the moment. And he says, you know what? I ain't going to get that belt soon, though. I'm coming for that belt still. At least Rey Mysterio popping up out of nowhere. He pop out. Penta say, what's good? He said he congratulates him for becoming the new AAA general manager. And he tells him that he wants to face him one-on-one for that IC belt. He would be honored. It would be an honor for him to do that. And Ray I'm back. Then we get to our second match of the night. We have the Judgment Day. Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. When is Liv Morgan going to fight again, by the way? But against the Bird Huggers, I'm sorry. The Bird Huggers, Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. The match don't start the way it's supposed to start because the Judgment Day instantly attacked the Bird Huggers before the match. Yes, I call them the Bird Huggers because they don't have an official name. And sometimes saying the whole name is just, I don't want to do it. So I'd rather call them Bird Huggers. Maybe I can start something. They can start calling them the Bird Huggers because of me. But the Bird Huggers are attacking for the match, but they saying we ain't going for it. They start attacking back. They going to Bayley and Raquel end up going to the outside. Lyra and Roxanne inside. The bell starts now. Lyra hits a big suplex on the Roxanne. Then she Irish whips into the corner, tags in Bayley. They hit double clotheslines back and forth on her. They tag in again, but this time Roxanne smacks Lyra, runs back to her side, tags in Raquel. Raquel's in the ring now. Lyra instantly tries to jump on her, goes for the choke. That leads her to tagging in Bayley. And then Bayley gets in the ring, starts attacking Raquel in the corner. Then she tags in Lyra and attacks her in the corner. Then they just keep going back and forth until they get Irish whipped They Irish whip Raquel, but Raquel reverses it and then does a big crossbody onto both of them at the same time. Then Raquel ends up grabbing Lyra's arm, gives her a little manipulation, flipping her around, twisting it, punching her in the in the body back and forth. Then she whips her whips her to the corner, hits her with a big body splash. Then hits her with the multiple back and forth elbows, boom, boom, boom. Then she Irish whips Lyra again, but this time Lyra jumps over the top into her. Then hits her with a drop kick. But Raquel fights back. She grabs Lyra again, throws her into the turnbuckle. She's in a seated position now, distracting the ref. And Roxanne walks over to the side of her, grabs her arm, and steps on it. Then that leads to Lyra dealing with her arm being messed up throughout the whole match. Raquel runs. Raquel does the middle rope elbow down onto Lyra, and that's how we get to the commercial break. We get back from the commercial break with Lyra trying to get a comeback in. She pulls the rope on Raquel that leaves her leaving outside the ring. Raquel, though, on the outside, pulls down her Lyra's leg and then picks her up to try to throw her into the ring post, but Lyra reverses out of it botchingly, by the way. She's falling the midway down, but slams her into the ring post. Then that leaves her trying to get back into the Bailey, but then Roxanne on the outside grabs Lyra's leg, but it gets kicked away by her, and you know what that means. It's time for the hot tag. Get in the ring, instant suicide dive. The Raquel on the outside punches back and forth, gets into the ring, does the middle rope elbow, boom, goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out from Raquel though, but she's still trying to get the energy going. Tries to go for the sunset flip power bomb into the corner, but that gets reversed by Raquel, and she turns that into a clothesline. She tags in Roxanne. Roxanne gets to the ring, tries to hit pop rocks on the Bailey, but that gets reversed by Bailey into a back suplex. Then she lands the sunset flip corner bomb onto Roxanne, tags in Lyra. Lyra gets in the ring. They do a double team move on her, and she goes for the pin. But Liv Morgan puts Roxanne's foot back on the rope. That leads to the ref going, "I saw you. Get out of here. You gotta go." Leads to Bailey on the outside, pulling her down, punching her in the face. Raquel then clothesline Bailey on the outside. Then Lyra on the apron does a diving elbow on the Raquel on the outside. Lyra gets back into the ring, but a roll up by Roxanne Perez. 1, 2, kick out from Lyra though. She ain't going like that. Lyra instantly hits her with an enziguri and then tags in Bailey, and they try to do a double team move on her, but Dirty Dom jumps on the apron. That leads to Raquel using distraction to throw Bailey off the top rope. Roxanne hits her with pop rocks. 1, 2, kick out from Bailey. She not leaving. She not losing like that. Not at all. Then that leads to Lyra, then hurricanrunning Raquel to the outside. She had her in a powerbomb position. She reversed it, turned it to that leads to Raquel trying to powerbomb Lyra, but Lyra reverses that into a hurricanrana to the outside of the ring. Dom gets back onto the apron to distract the ref. He throws the belt in the ring. Now Roxanne and Bailey are having a tug of war back and forth with the belt. Bailey lets Roxanne's momentum move. She ends up hitting Dom with the belt. That leads to Bailey rolling her up. 1, 2, 3. The Bird Huggers get the dub. Big win between Bailey and Lyra. I'm gonna give that match a 4 stars. Usually good shenanigans. Usually with the shenanigans, it's bad shenanigans. But I like the way they use the interferences to their favor. Good back and forth match. When is Liv Morgan gonna wrestle? When is she gonna wrestle? She fought Soruka after WrestleMania and just did nothing after that. She just been doing nothing after that. What is she gonna do? She waiting for Stephanie? What's going on? But I'm surprised they're still keeping it going with Bailey and Lyra. I didn't think they would be having them still doing tag team division stuff, but it looks like they might be fighting for the belt soon. So it'll be interesting to see. Then we get to our last segment of part 1. Yes, part 1. If you don't know, I do these raw recaps in part 1s and part 2. So make sure to watch all the way to the end of the video to have to click on to see part 2. But we get Roman Reigns backstage with Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce is telling Roman, he said, he don't deserve this title shot, bro. He's supposed to be fired, bro. He shouldn't be employed right now. Roman says, I get that, I understand. But the thing is, right, as the tribal chief, I can never back down from a challenge. So I got to do it. But the one thing in this contract is that if he loses, he got to serve me. He got to be one of my homies. He got to be with the family. If he don't, He can fire him, man. You can fire him. You can do everything you want to him. But man, if I lose, man, we screwed. But that's going to be the end of part 1. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Remember guys, Jesus loves you. And watch part 2.